Welcome back Cartech Zone. Today we're diving into one of the most electrifying and futuristic pieces of military engineering the United States has ever worked on. If you've seen traditional artillery, cannons, or missiles, forget all of that for a moment. The railgun is something entirely different. It's not just a weapon, it's a piece of physics, metal, energy, and innovation pushed to the absolute limit. And in 2025, the railgun's sharp metallic design, raw power output, and insane performance characteristics have brought it back into the conversation as one of the most advanced long-range weapon concepts the US has ever designed. So let's break down what makes the railgun so impressive, how the sharp metallic construction actually works, what the performance looks like, how the US has upgraded the design over the years, and what kind of price tag a machine like this comes with in 2025. When you first look at a railgun, the very first thing that stands out is the sharp, industrial, metallic shape of the barrel. Unlike traditional round barrels, the railgun's barrel looks almost rectangular, with sharp edges, straight lines, and exposed metal plates that immediately tell you this is a weapon built around electrical engineering, not gunpowder. The metal is usually a high-density conductive alloy designed to handle extreme magnetic pressure. You're not firing an explosive charge, you're firing raw energy. So the metallic frame must be able to survive insane heat, massive stress, and incredible acceleration forces. This sharp metallic design isn't for style, it's for survival. Inside this long metal frame, two parallel rails run alongside each other. These rails act like a gigantic electrical track. When the system fires, the rails channel millions of amps of electricity through a sliding armature holding the projectile. This electric current creates a magnetic field that literally launches the projectile forward at several times the speed of sound. Imagine taking a piece of metal the size of a soda can and firing it faster than a jet. No explosive warhead, no fuel, just pure kinetic destruction powered by electricity. That is the railgun. Now the sharp metallic body plays a huge role in thermal control. When the rails heat up, the external metallic housing helps dissipate heat and adds rigidity to prevent rail warping. If the rails twist, the shot becomes inaccurate or impossible. This is why 2025 designs use advanced metal composites with high heat tolerance. Many 2024-2025 prototypes even include heat-resistant ceramic overlays inside the frame, improving durability by almost 30% over early models. The performance in 2025 is wildly impressive. Typical test projectiles can reach speeds above Mach 6, which is about 4,600 miles per hour. That's fast enough to punch through multiple layers of armor, destroy hardened bunkers, or take out moving targets at incredible distances. Compared to a missile, the railgun projectile has no fuel, no explosive head, and no guidance system, so most of the damage is generated from pure speed. A railgun shot also costs almost nothing compared to a missile. While a modern cruise missile can cost over $1 million per shot, a railgun round costs only a few $1,000s. From a cost to firepower perspective, it's one of the most efficient weapons ever designed. But here's where the US in 2025 has really started pushing forward: improvements in the energy system. Earlier railgun designs demanded massive shipboard power supplies, which created huge engineering problems. But newer 2025 modular energy banks allow the system to store and discharge power much more efficiently. These upgrades let the system fire shots more reliably and more frequently without frying the internal rails. That's a huge milestone, because the biggest weakness of early railguns was rail wear, rails degrading after only a few dozen shots. Now, cutting-edge metallic coatings and better cooling systems mean the rails can survive much longer. And because the entire weapon is metallic and angular, it also fits better into modern US Navy stealth design. Sharp metallic edges can be angled to reduce radar signature and match the geometry of current naval ships. So instead of looking like an old cannon sitting on a deck, the railgun now looks like a futuristic weapon pod designed to merge seamlessly with 2025 stealth platforms. Now let's talk about targeting. The railgun uses a fire control system that is much more advanced than traditional cannons because the projectile is moving at hypervelocity. A small calculation error could send the projectile off course by miles. So the US uses advanced radar tracking, AI-assisted trajectory prediction, and optical sensors to predict exactly where the target will be at the precise instant of impact. There's no active guidance inside the projectile, so everything has to be calculated before it leaves the barrel. It's like playing billiards but at thousands of miles per hour. And the sharp metallic construction helps support the advanced sensors mounted around the barrel to track heat, vibration, and structural stress. As for use cases, the US sees the railgun as a long-range strike weapon, coastal defense weapon, ship-to-ship combat weapon, anti-missile platform, and even a potential replacement for some expensive missile interceptors. The speed alone makes it incredibly hard for an incoming missile or aircraft to evade. Even if the target tries to dodge, the projectile is moving so fast it reaches the target before there's time to react. In 2025, the performance tests show huge improvements over earlier years. Power efficiency is up. Barrel strength is up. Ammunition costs remain low. Thermal management is more stable. And the weapon can be integrated more easily onto large ships or fixed coastal stations. Some 2025 prototypes even support semi-automatic loading, meaning the system can fire multiple rounds in quick succession without manual intervention. That wasn't possible a decade ago. But what about price? That's one of the biggest questions everyone asks. The railgun isn't cheap. Not even close. The weapon system itself, including power banks, control systems, reinforced metallic barrel housing, and ship integration, can cost anywhere from $350 million to $500 million depending on configuration. The metallic construction alone is extremely expensive due to the heat-resistant conductive alloys used in the rails. The power modules also use advanced capacitors and magnetic field control systems that are not cheap to produce at scale. So while the projectile is cheap, the weapon system is a high-budget project. Then comes maintenance. The sharp metallic rails require periodic replacement. Even with 2025's improved materials, rail damage still happens after extended firing sessions. Replacing rails, recalibrating sensors, and maintaining the power system adds ongoing costs. However, the US argues that even with the high system cost, the low ammunition cost makes the railgun strategically valuable. What's also fascinating is the noise, or lack of it. A railgun doesn't produce the same explosion sound as traditional cannon fire. Instead, it creates an electric humming buildup followed by a violent electromagnetic crack as the projectile exits the barrel. The sharp metallic casing vibrates during discharge, and you can see ripples of heat along the metal until the cooling systems kick in. It's mechanical, electrical, and metallic energy all happening at once. The railgun's appearance is also something that can't be ignored. The sharp metallic armor, the futuristic block-shaped barrel, the exposed mechanical joints, and the bright electromagnetic glow during firing make it look like something out of a sci-fi movie. But it's real, and it's operational as a test platform in 2025. The US continues to refine it, and while it's not yet deployed as a standard weapon across the fleet, the technology is much closer to service readiness than it was even a few years ago. For anyone fascinated by engineering, the sharp metallic structure is itself a masterpiece. Every edge, every vent, every panel has a purpose. The surfaces are angled to reduce electromagnetic interference. The casing protects the internal power coils. The structural beams reinforce the frame against the insane magnetic forces. You're not just looking at a gun, you're looking at a laboratory wrapped inside a weapon. So when we talk about 2025 US performance, what we're really seeing is the evolution of a concept that used to sound impossible. The railgun isn't perfect yet, but it's more stable, more powerful, more efficient, and more realistic as a future weapon system than ever before. The US has not given up on it. If anything, the increased interest in high-speed, long-range, low-cost kinetic weapons has brought the railgun back into serious discussion. And looking ahead, future railguns may have even sharper metallic frames, better cooling, hybrid energy systems, or even lightweight mobile versions. Imagine a railgun mounted on a land vehicle or aircraft using next-gen compact energy cells. That's the direction engineers want to go. The US is investing, testing, refining, and pushing the limits of metal and energy like never before. So that wraps up our deep 2025 review of the Railgun's sharp metallic design, performance, and cost. It's futuristic, it's powerful, and it represents the next era of kinetic energy weapons. If you love advanced tech, heavy metal engineering, and the future of military innovation, then the Railgun is one of the most exciting machines to watch. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to CarTech Zone for more futuristic tech reviews, defense engineering analysis, and deep dive videos into the world of extreme performance machines. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.